Something is definitely wrong with Master Duel's shuffle algorithm. Look at this hand. We draw Aqua Dolphin again. Why do we keep drawing this card every single match? And because of this, we won't be able to special summon Miracle Ejector. So how are we going to continue our combos? These cards are pretty much useless. So there are two plays that we can do here. One of them is activate Equal first and make a search. Or just normal summon Aqua Dolphin first and then discard one of your imperms, check your opponent and destroy a hand trap. But if we do that, that means I won't be able to do anything else. Because when you think about it, since I'm gonna use my normal summon on Aqua Dolphin, I won't be able to normal summon Stratos or Miracle Ejector to my field. That's why I have to activate Equal and make a search. Now, the reason why I decided to search for Shadow Mist is because Aqua Dolphin's effect requires a discard. So we are gonna discard Shadow Mist as a cost. That means we can make another Hero Master search and we can try to somewhat create a decent field. But the moment I search for Shadow Mist, my opponent plays Draw Blackbird. Now, we are in really big trouble, guys. We already have a bad hand, we are gonna send Shadow Mist to the graveyard, but we won't be able to make a search anymore because of the Blackbird's effect. Now, when I check my opponent's hand, they don't have any other hand traps, or they don't have any other monster cards which has 600 or less attack points. So that means I won't be able to even destroy a single card in my opponent's hand. Now we are really screwed up here. Play triple T. I won't be able to draw two cards, but at least I can get rid of one of my opponent's cards in their hand. So I set two imperfs and pass my turn. My opponent hard draws evenly match. If draw Blackbird wasn't enough, now he plays evenly match. And we have nothing more than imperm. At least their battle phase are skipped, so that means we can survive one more round. They make a search from their deck, and then they use their normal summon. They try to resolve their effect. I chain with imperm because that's my only other option that I can play right now, but I don't have anything else left. The card that I'm going to draw from my deck is really crucial, and I draw Miracle Ejector. I won't be able to special summon her, but at least I can normal summon her and still resolve her effect because we haven't searched and shuffled from our deck yet. Now, I'm going to special summon Stratos from my deck and make another search, which is going to be Duskrow because I don't have any other plays. I'm going to special summon him to the field, resolve his effect, but the moment I try to do that, my opponent just surrenders. We started really horrible and yet we still won this match. Don't ask me how, I'm still in shock. Maybe it was a miracle, maybe it was a destiny, who knows, but we still won the match, which was interesting. Now we are gonna play our second match, and during the draw phase, I activate Fuvalos because I don't need him, and in case my opponent is playing a turn 0 deck. We have so many combo starters here. Finally, we didn't get Break. Miracle Fusion is hard throw, but that's okay. We activate a Hero Lives and special summon Stratos. Now we are going to make another search, but our opponent doesn't let us. They just play imperm. But do we care about it? No, we do not, because we still haven't used our normal summon. We still have Foolish Burial in our hand, so we can still continue doing our combos. I'm gonna search for Miracle Ejector and start doing my one card combos. We are going to resolve her effect, search for Unshuffle, and we are going to special summon a third copy of Stratos. And then we are going to search for Duskrow, XC summon into number 6 Lugiris. I'm gonna special summon Stratos one more time and make another hero search. Now we need to access to our polymerization, so that's why we need to find a way to special summon Vion to our field. Duskrow is going to help us to search for Fountain, and Fountain is going to help us to special summon Vion to our field. And then I'm going to send Shadow Mist to the graveyard and search for Neos and also for polymerization. Now, our opponent doesn't have any more hand traps as it seems, so that's why we can continue doing our combos over and over. We are going to build the strongest board, as you can see, and finally we will have a smooth chance of winning this duel. So I'm going for Cross Sheep. I'm going to special summon Sunrise, and with the help of Cross Sheep, I decided to special summon Aqua Dolphin, because even if I'm going to make a full board and even if I'm certain that my opponent doesn't have any hand traps, I need to see what my opponent is playing, because if I know some information about my opponent's deck, that means I can shape my endboard better to counter my opponent's deck. The moment I look at my opponent's hand, I saw these cards. He is playing Tenpai. He has Super Polymerization. He has Raigeki. We are in really big trouble, guys. We need to find a way to avoid Super Polymerization and avoid Raigeki, because these two cards are gonna hurt our deck a lot. Think about it. If we special summon Dark Lock, DPE, and Contessora Chaos in our field, all of them are Dark Masters. He is just going to play Super Polymerization, destroy everything. So how are we going to survive against these cards? Let's find out. That's why it is so important to use Aqua Dolphin's effect and check your opponent's hand in these situations. I was certain that, I'm going to make a full end board, but yet again, as you can see, my opponent has cards that can literally get rid of my entire board quite easily. I need to find a way to protect myself from Raigeki, so that's why I XC summon into Starliege Photon Blast Dragon. His effect helps us to protect us from destruction effects, but that's not enough. I still need to get rid of Super Polymerization. Now, that card is unnegatable, unfortunately, so that's why I need to build a board that is immune to Super Polymerization. So here's what I'm talking about. For example, I have Starliege Photon Blast Dragon in my field, right? And I have DPE in my field. So because this card is Light Dragon Master and because DPE is Dark Warrior Master, my opponent has no way of playing Super Polymerization and fuse these two cards. The most important thing is protecting DPE. As expected, my opponent plays Raigeki and gets rid of Starliege. Nothing has happened to DPE, so we are still in the game. My opponent hard drop Imperm and try to negate DPE's effect, chain with Mask Change, so that we can dodge the Imperm's negate effect, and we are still in the game. We have our Floodgate. Now, the reason my opponent decided to get rid of DPE is because if I activate DPE's effect, my opponent won't have any chance to special summon a monster to their field, because they special summon themselves during the battle phase. So that's why they need at least one monster on the field. The moment my opponent tries to make a search, I activate Dark Loss effect and get rid of Super Polymerization. Now I can resolve favorite contact because we are in a safe spot. My opponent doesn't have any more disruptions. I'm not letting my opponent to activate the last effect of Fundara, which says at the start of the damage step. We are not in the damage step right now. So before that happens, I resolve favorite contact and fusion summon into Shining Neo Swingman. And because I summon Shining Neo Swingman, I get rid of my opponent's monsters. Now my opponent doesn't have any single place and he just surrenders. As you can see how important it was Aqua Dolphin's effect. If I wouldn't know that my opponent has Super Polymerization or Raigeki, I wouldn't be able to survive this round. My opponent would probably finish me off. So this will be our final match and we are facing against Raidraptors, as you can see. Now, I only have a single hand trap in my hand and I'm going to use on the right moment. This is a non-meta deck, but it can be still difficult to play against because they have some tower monsters. Now I try to negate my opponent's monster here because I know that they will search for rank up magic, but unfortunately they control another rank up spell card, so that's why they are going to chain and my Imperm will be completely useless. And I don't have any other place in my hand to stop my opponent. So as you can see, my opponent has a bunch of monsters in their field, but no negations. And this is their endboard, so it should be easy peasy, right? Well, here's the problem. They control 2 copies of Arsenal Falcon. It says, if this card is sent to the graveyard while it has a Raidraptor monster as material, you can special summon one Raidraptor Xyz monster from your extra deck. So that means, if I get rid of these 2 cards, my opponent will special summon their tower monsters. Those monsters are immune to any other card effects. I need to find a way to get rid of this effect, so I was planning to, maybe special summon Dark Lobe so that these cards won't be sent to the graveyard, but I had a different thing in my mind. Hero deck has potential of destroying high attack damage monsters quite easily. We have Vision Hero Trinity, we have Shining Neo Swingman. I fusion summon Thunder Giant and as you can see, I get rid of every single card my opponent has. And now, as I said, my opponent is going to special summon their tower monsters. Now, I was surprised because he only summoned one tower monster, which is Rising Rebellion Falcon. This card has 4000 attack points, which is quite high and unaffected by other card effects. And the only way that I can bring down this monster is fusion summoning Shining Neo Swingman. I have fusion summoned Flame Wingman first. I go for Verta Anaconda. As you can see, Elemental Hero Neos is already in our graveyard. Flame Wingman is already in our graveyard. We are not locked into the hero monsters yet, so that's why I link summon into Verta Anaconda. I'm going to send Miracle Fusion from my deck to the graveyard, and then I can fusion summon Shining Neo Swingman. Now, as you can see, I try to destroy my opponent's monster by a card effect, but it is unaffected by other card effects, but we don't really care about it. All we care about it is just destroying him by battle. Now, if you're wondering why Shining Neos has so many attack points, he has an effect that says gains 300 attack points for each monster in your graveyard. So as you can see, we have a bunch of hero monsters in our graveyard, and that's why we have 5500 attack points. Now we make an attack, destroy the monster, and then we use our burn effect, which is going to be 4000, and we win the match. So as you can see, this was kinda anime duel, we tried to get rid of a tower monster that has 4000 attack points. I had a feeling that I was facing against Cyber and Dragon, just like in the anime, Jaden versus Zane. These kinds of matches are really fun if you ask me. So that's all for today. I hope that you enjoyed these matchups. I'm trying to show you different kinds of matchups, because if you face against the same meta decks over and over every day, you're just going to get bored and it's not going to be that fun. But playing against different different decks are always fun. So thank you guys for watching again, and I'll see you guys next time.